Hey guys, my name's Michael, and that's my dog Odie. Just want to give you guys a little backstory of who I am and what I'm about before I really try to, get this thing kicked off. So here we go. This is it's a story of how a street drifter, an ex-felon, a former addict is trying to go grassroots and build a proper drift car while also trying to build a legacy for my daughter on the way and my family. I grew up in a life where trouble wasn't something you found. Trouble kind of found you. And unfortunately, by the time I was a teenager, I'd spent, time in and out of more juvenile facilities than most people know exist. And I ended up spending time in every juvenile prison facility in Washington State. When you live like that, life stops feeling real, especially at that age. And eventually, at some point, you stop feeling real. To put it, kind of bluntly, I was angry, I was lost, and addiction filled like literally every space that wasn't already taken by violence or chaos. It was pretty nasty. But when I got out after a 2-year maximum security sentence, something changed. I found cars, or, more or less, they kind of found me. I got into the modified car scene sometime around college. I was trying to keep my hands busy and trying to stay away from the same streets that kept dragging me back, And around the time I was 19, I ended up buying my first drift car, a 1977 Datsun 280Z. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew it damn sure felt like freedom. That's for sure. And around that same time, I came up with the name Team Neverland, a name for the crew I used to roll with, a bunch of kids who didn't want to grow up, didn't know how to grow up, and honestly, none of us really thought we'd make it far enough to try, And we were hanging out and getting her done for a while. But life happens, and, people split ways. And eventually, I was the only one left. But the name always lived on within me. It was always something I wanted to make happen, and it was always something I wanted to chase, and, it was my dream. But before I ever got the chance to really chase drifting, life hit me in a kind of different way. In 1 year, I broke 2 vertebrae and suffered a compound fracture on my tibia and my fibula at 2 separate times. 2 major injuries. 2 times learning how to walk again. 2 times being forced to sit still when literally all I wanted was just some forward momentum. And when you go through something like that, it changes you. It's not just the pain, it's the fear, the trauma, that little voice in the back of your head that says, if your body fails you again, you might not get up and walk away from this one. And that's something, a lot of people don't always go through, and unfortunately that was something that I had to overcome. And that really set me back, not just physically, but mentally. I fell behind in drifting. I fell behind in life. My team kept moving forward, and everybody around me kept moving forward, but I was stuck with a walker and crutches, braces, trying to convince myself that, I'd someday feel confident behind the wheel again, But I ended up pushing through it. Not fast, not perfect. It was painful. It was ugly, you know. But I came back with a different kind of respect for life, driving, and definitely for myself, you know. I ended up trying to clean up my act, and at the time I got in a mini bump to pass at Evergreen Speedway with a 1989 Honda Prelude. And for the first time in my life, I raced under the Team Neverland banner, legitimately, with local sponsors, and most importantly, with people who supported me and believed in me. And then again, you know, life hit harder than any wall I've ever put a car into. I lost my mother to cancer. Everything inside me caved in, and I ended up going down the rabbit hole again, and I ended up going back to jail for about 60 days this time. Not too fun. And when I got out, I was just tired of losing. You know, I was tired of letting everybody down. You know, most importantly, myself, you know, and I was fed up with it. So I ended up buying another E36. It was my fourth at that point. And specifically, you know, it was a chassis my parents knew me for, and honestly, a car they both loved to see me wrench on. But the previous owner kind of beat the crap out of it, you know, and it was fun, but I didn't really have the money to fix the damage that was there, you know. So it had to go at the time, unfortunately. It was another loss. And hell, shortly after that, my dad went from cancer too. So it's kind of a rough time, you know. But after everything, you know, after it all, the addiction, the felonies, the prison time, or juvenile prison time, the losses, the drift cars that came and went, you know, here I am now. About 3 months ago, I bought another one, E36, my fifth, a clean one, one I'm proud of, one I'm building the right way this time, with the right mindset and for the right reasons. This car is the one that, you know, my parents would have loved to see me in again, you know. And this is definitely the car I want my daughter to grow up around. So this channel, it's not just about drifting. It's not just about building the best E36 I've ever owned. It's not just about competing in grassroots. This channel is my story, my comeback, my proof that no matter where you come from, no matter how deep you were, you can build something real. I'm documenting everything, the build, the failures, the wins, the bullshit, the nights in the garage, as you can see, the track days, every step. And I'm bringing Team Neverland back. And not as a crew that fell apart, but as a brand that represents exactly what I survived. And I'm doing it all for my daughter. She'll be here next month. And I want her to know that her dad didn't quit. He didn't fold. Against all odds, he turned his story into something worth leaving behind. So if you're here watching this right now, and you're still watching this right now, thank you. Welcome to the build. Welcome to the comeback. Most importantly, welcome to Team Neverland.
I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me. responsibility.